up, Woodward? We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Thank you guys for choosing to kick off your day with Wake Up Woodward. Something tells me it's just going to be a great day, man. It is a Wednesday, so you know we got the legend Rod Beard from the Detroit News, sports editor-in-chief, who will be joining us for the Detroit News on Detroit Sports segment and more. It's your boy, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam, I like that flannel as well. Flannel Sam, the vet of the network, the vet of the squad over there, Red Wings correspondent, shout out, and all sports knower. How are you feeling this morning, brother?
I'm feeling good. It's actually insane, and I'm not going to get into it, that the trade deadline and the presidential election are on the same damn day.
It's crazy.
X, or formerly Twitter, it was quite a place yesterday. I'll just say that, and it was 24 hours of just madness. So you don't get days like that too often in life.
So I guess we have to be appropriate. Congratulations, we're gonna celebrate victory. Especially if your candidate won. Mine did. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, Cade Cunningham, the Detroit Pistons. I just went party ticket Detroit sports because it's on fire right now, man. Yeah. Hey, the Lions, we get to celebrate this Packers beat down the whole week, and the Pistons have won 3 or 4 games. They should be, y'all should be 500. And I believe that they know that. I think they believe they should be better than. And you know what? I don't care how early it is in the season. If the playoffs started today. The Pistons will be in our play-in!
No.
Woo!
I want you to
Happy victory day, everybody.
I want you to say that exact same thing to Rod Beard so bad, and see. I want to see his face.
Y'all gonna get me in trouble with my mentor.
I'm not mad at you, Kool-Aid. I get it. You have to celebrate the small victories as Pistons fans, and they do look better. It does look different. But
you know what? We're gonna play the video today. I got the video. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna send it to JB of the moment that it set in for Cade Cunningham at the press conference when he realized y'all got win number 3 last year, December 30th, bro. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But you want to tell the people we're gonna talk about, and then we'll introduce the crew.
Absolutely. The trade deadline was a busy time for a lot of contenders in the NFL, and we're going to also, now that we've had a chance to sleep on it and it wasn't just breaking news during our show, we're going to revisit the Za'Darius Smith trade once again. Grade what
I had a chance to sleep on it. No,
okay, grade what the Lions did at the trade deadline. We're going to talk about the NFC, on if there are a couple teams in the NFC that made moves, and if any of them are a challenge to the Lions. I just want to pose that out there. We're going to talk to the legend Rod Beard. We're going to go around Detroit sports, probably mostly Lions. Then we're going to do Woodward Pistons. And then, since we weren't able to do it yesterday, we're going to do NFL Top 10. I know there's going to be some people who are not fans of my list, but that's all right. We'll talk it out together, and we will become better for it. Because, again, I am a changed man. I will not yell at you unless you're Terrell Lamar or Weezy D313 yesterday.
And the first night, I didn't have the opportunity to prepare mine. Bro, at LCA till 1, getting that Pistons article done.
That's fair.
So when I saw what that dude Justin did, I was like, you know what? I actually agree with that list. Shout out to that dude, Justin. I think you guys are going to definitely like my list as well. But our brother Broder, Matthew Broder, we love you, man. Intern Chase, no more. It is Chase, and we are searching for a nickname for you. But right now, it's Chase the Great. What up, though?
What up, man? Woke up this morning a little bit sad, a little bit disappointed. Not a victory Wednesday for me. The Central Michigan Chippewas lost last night to the Bowling Green Falcons.
Oh, no.
Doesn't look like we're going to be going bowling. We're going to have to win out. We're 3-6 right now. Hopefully we can beat Western. That'll salvage the season a little bit, but a little sad seeing the 10-point loss when I woke up this morning. Didn't get to finish the game out last night, and
got swept in the polls, huh?
We got beat, but it's okay. We're bouncing back. We got Western coming up, and if we can knock that one out, then we can salvage the season a little bit.
Well, I know it's not much, but I'm hoping to cheer you up a little bit with this. I'm fired up!
Hell yeah, fire up, fire up.
Hey, you know what? Don't put them on screen yet. Hey, put like a drum roll, put some type of like, make this an occasion, bro. There we go. Hey, and his return in the sound booth it is Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, aka Black Hollywood. What up, though, brother? Good to see you back.
Hey, what up? Y'all can do better, man. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Y'all can do better, man. I expect better. Nah, man. Hey, I missed y'all. Sorry, I went down after that DCFC game on Saturday, and I just could not recover, man. Not 100%, but I had to be in here with my guys, man. Feeling a lot better this time around. So, hey, glad to be back here with the team, man.
Hey, glad to have you back in the building. We don't lie when we tell y'all this is definitely a family, and glad that it's one that we've gotten to be in the trenches with and have some successes with, and honestly share with you all, chat family, because you guys are the most important part of this thing. Smash that like button to support the crew. In the TD booth, it is Woodward Sports MVP, JB Smooth. What up, though, brother?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Your candidates might have lost, but mine won.
Hey! Let's go. I love this, man. Let's get into it, man. The NFL trade deadline.
Yes, it was a lot of teams who are contenders made power moves, and Adam Schefter put out a tweet which gave a list of all of the moves that were made. JB, you got that one? Perfect. I mean, look at this. I mean, when you really, a couple of things that stand out to me are, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs getting DeAndre Hopkins and Josh Uche. And you saw DeAndre Hopkins pay immediate dividends if you watched that Monday Night Football game. Yep. The Baltimore Ravens getting Lamar another weapon, trying to address their pass defense, which is actually the worst in the NFL, believe it or not, by getting Tre'Davious White. I don't know what that's going to do. I think he's kind of cooked, but I get them for trying. You see the Commanders make a big move at corner. You see Buffalo, the Amari Cooper move. You've seen the dividends of that, but then he went out hurt again, which is that's the nature of the NFL.
Just cheesing, bro. I'm just over here cheesing because it's like we already know the news, but it's still good to see Detroit Za'Darius Smith.
Oh, yeah. And the Minnesota Vikings, I think, made a underrated move by getting Cam Robinson. But you know what? Everybody's trying to improve. Everybody's trying to fill holes or replace injuries on their teams. And the Lions are just doing just that as well. And I honestly think that when it's all said and done, the Za'Darius Smith move will prove to be as impactful as any other move on this list because of the need that was for a Za'Darius Smith. They needed a pass rush, and by golly, they got one.
Ah, man, they got one. It's beautiful to see, and I know we didn't get to get your reaction on this. If you're ready, KG, Za'Darius Smith, because our reel in which you posed that question, it blew up all over socials.
Yeah.
And then, like a prophet, right? Because you did this with Terry Arnold too, right? We had the draft coverage. You put all that stuff out there. You and Broder were just absolutely right on that stuff, including Broder coming out and saying during the draft that the Lions are going to aggressively pursue Terry Arnold. But I digress. Shout out to the WUW Crew.
Right.
You were talking about Za'Darius Smith a lot. You were like, I think this is it, man. It blew up. Talk to me about it.
Well, actually, I got to give credit to Sam because he was really on this bandwagon at first. But I do got to do some repenting today. But overall, the move, I love the move. I love the compensation that it took to get that. When Sam did his write-up last week, I think it was, he said it would be a 4th-round pick. It turned out to be a 5th, and the next year 6th. Right. They somehow got a 7th back. So, hey, Brad Holmes is doing Brad Holmes things.
Was cooking, huh?
Yeah, man. So, hey, Brad Holmes doing Brad Holmes things. But my first initial thought wasn't even to this year. It was really the next year, because I'm thinking about when you get Aiden Hutchinson back and you have him, you have finally a bookend in Za'Darius Smith, and then you have DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil in the middle. That's one of the best D-lines in football is going to shape up to be next year, and that's going to automatically put you as a favorite for the Super Bowl next year. So I really like this move. I know it's going to help us this year. I got to backtrack on the fact that I said it might not be enough. After looking at this thing in totality, after looking at how the Lions have won without Aiden Hutchinson, you're going to get, what's his name, the DN back.
Josh Pascal.
Josh Pascal. You're going to get him back. So I think that is enough to eventually get over the hump, but we shall see. It has to be, right?
Hey, it has to be, man. That's why I love this team. Everybody is about each other, and you're right. I remember it now as if it's playing over in my head like it was just happened. You said, I'm going to try and put on my Brad Holmes hat. I'm going to try and look at this from his perspective and his point of view. And you're right. You teed up that Za'Darius Smith trade. And you know what Brad Holmes did? It was like, that's pretty good, Flannel. But I'm going to do it one better. And it's going to be an absolute steal.
As I've said before, and I'll continue to reiterate it, a 5th and a 6th round pick is nothing. Nothing. That is, and what Za'Darius Smith is going to cost the Lions, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the upgrade that he is going to give both this year and the possibility next season is it's tantalizing to say the least. And I think that will maybe motivate Hutch to come back as strong as ever. Because as I said yesterday, I had to confirm and fact check it, but now I have. Myles Garrett has been one of the best DNs, best players in football for pretty much since the day he walked into the league, certainly since his 2nd year. The only season in which he won Defensive Player of the Year was the season in which Za'Darius Smith was his bookend for the whole year. So Aiden Hutchinson, 2025, huh? Obviously, we got to get past 2024 and win the Super Bowl this year. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but as you said, KG, this year it's a great move, but you can't help but look forward to next year. You just can't.
You can't, man. You can't. And you know what? Let's talk a lot more about this. I want to be able to give this type of conversation its full just due, because yesterday we were just in the spirits of Victory Monday, Victory Tuesday, and really experiencing Brad Holmes going out there and cooking. So today we get to, like you said, we slept on it. We got KG back in the building, and we get to break this thing down with our chat family as well. So get your comments in there. I know we're going to talk about the Lions and greatness thing at the trade deadline and taking a even more micro view at this. And then we're going to also break this down as it relates to how it compares to the rest of the NFL and this Super Bowl path, how it affects the Super Bowl path for the Detroit Lions. But first, I got to tell you about where the best Detroit Lions party is every single home game. It's in the middle, right in the center, right in the heart of downtown Detroit. Second best bar, 42 Watson Street is where it's at. Mark that down, 42 Watson Street. If you come there, it's the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show. Only at Second Best Bar. Come get some.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward Sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust, on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Hey, let's drive right down the legendary Woodward Avenue. In October in the D was a success, man. The Detroit Tigers absolutely on fire. And I know that the Pistons, man, they've done their work largely in November, but who cares, man? I'm still going to say that October in the D was a success because the Detroit Lions have been on one. They lost no games in the second quarter. Last year, they lost one game in each of the quarters. But man, to see them this year, they are on a mission and they're not going to be stopped. Other teams are complaining that they're running up the score. Other teams are complaining, and that's while Aiden Hutchinson was gone, bro. And now they bring in a Za'Darius Smith. Brad Holmes absolutely cooked up, but we got an opportunity to sit on it and want to be able to grade this thing. And chat family, I want you guys in the chat as well. I know that Za'Darius Smith wasn't everybody's first. I know that some people believed that we should have gone out there and gotten a second player as well. I know a lot of us, we pontificated that. That's my word, right? Word of the month, word of the last couple months. But for Brad Holmes, as we saw last year, the decisions that he made at the trade deadline, whether it was to do something or not, it was just enough to actually get this team further than a lot of us expected, including the one great game that Uncle Bruce Irvin played in. Like every single move, man, everything mattered. And so now this year, they make an even more drastic move at the trade deadline. They bring in Za'Darius Smith on a steal. We already talked about the draft compensation. $605,000 is all the Lions have to pay this year because the Browns have already paid $11.4 million, man. So just as you've gotten the opportunity to sleep on this, I know that this was a move you thought Brad Holmes would make, but how do you grade this?
First off, why the F did the Browns do that?
I don't know.
I mean, no. I'm glad that they did,
Just
but
an A for me.
I think that's proof that a lot of GMs in the world aren't Brad Holmes. Most aren't, because I think they got fleeced, but that's neither here nor there. So for me, the grade is 100% an A. And I'm happy that Brad Holmes, first of all, recognized that Super Bowl windows are precious. And you can't let things like catastrophic injuries completely derail them. And to the Lions' credit, without Aiden Hutchinson, they were 3-0. But I still think Brad Holmes recognized that there was a need. They needed to get more of a pass rush, so he went out and got Za'Darius Smith, while also not compromising his team-building principles. I know a lot of us, myself included, would have been perfectly fine with a more of an F them pick style of dealing with this. If you had to give up a couple first-rounders to get Crosby or Garrett, I would have 100% done it. But Brad Holmes, he wasn't even willing to, the reports are he wasn't even willing to give up a fourth for Za'Darius Smith, so he had to kind of negotiate and haggle, and he was able to, as I've said before, get Za'Darius Smith for, in my opinion, absolutely nothing. A 5th and a 6th round pick, even for a Brad Holmes, is not that valuable. It's just not. It's most valuable to me as like a trade piece, but Brad Holmes, he got the move that the Lions needed, and he didn't derail the future at all. Because before I pass it over, I have to repeat these stats. Za'Darius Smith has 5 sacks this season. The Detroit Lions leader, who's not Aiden Hutchinson, is Aleem McNeil with 2.5. These next stats are actually more favorable to the Lions and can speak to the relationship of Za'Darius Smith and Levi Onwuzurike and Aleem McNeil and how they can help out. Za'Darius Smith has 26 pressures. Aleem McNeil has 25. They're going to help each other out. Za'Darius Smith has 7 quarterback hits. Levi Onwuzurike has 7 quarterback hits. So he's going to be the pass rushing upgrade, but he's also going to do wonders, I think, for the entire defensive line, as are they going to do wonders for him as well. So absolute, undisputed A.
Absolutely an A. And I like the way that you broke it down. Like, I don't want people to just give their grade. Tell me why. And you know what, Steve-O baby, I've seen you in the chat. I'm gonna make sure that we shout out the chat family. It says Kool-Aid as I was eating my pizza and cheese bread on my birthday yesterday. Hey, Steve-O baby, happy birthday. Did he say that in the chat yesterday? If we missed that, we're sorry, man. Happy belated birthday, to you, Steve-O baby, man. Thank you for always being one of the regulars in the chat. And being one of those contrarians, too. But he said, as I was eating it on my birthday yesterday, I realized I like Brad Holmes because he doesn't listen to what people tell him to do. And I see your other comment in there as well. He says that he gives him a B+ for this deal. He says, I'm happy Brad Holmes has a spine and doesn't care what people think of his decisions and choices. I respect Brad Holmes. Hey, I love that, man. And I do believe that Brad Holmes deserves a lot of love this morning. But Za'Darius Smith, as you have stated, Flannel, has put himself in a position for Brad Holmes to get this type of a praise. To be able to step into this team right away, and now you're the sack leader by double-digit sacks. That's nothing to sneeze at. No matter what people believe the narrative was, when we look at what is happening on the field, this guy is going to make a difference for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, as I said, you're going to beat teams like the Tennessee Titans. And hey, they beat the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers on the road without getting a Za'Darius Smith yet, but I ultimately think that was the put the Lions over the top move. As I said yesterday on one of our Instagram reels, I think this is the Super Bowl winning move that Brad Holmes needed to make. And honestly, I'm not even... I know that with Brad Holmes, he's gone about it a little bit of a different way. I know last season there was some question on whether he should have made a move at the trade deadline that was of any significance. Ultimately, he did not. And, you know, last season was a little bit different. I don't think it was Super Bowl or bust. Last year, you had to get the division monkey off of your back, which had been 30 years. You had to do that, and they won a couple of playoff games. However, one of the reasons why I'm happy and I'm not mad at the idea of necessarily keeping up with the Joneses, which that's not what he's doing. It's not a perfect comparison, but you'll see what I mean, is that last season...
Break it down.
Last season, it's not just that the Lions didn't get a Chase Young or a Montez Sweat, which I'm okay with, by the way. I just want to break this down. It's who got Chase Young and Montez Sweat. The teams that got them, like... Obviously, the San Francisco 49ers, they got Chase Young. And I'm not saying he was the biggest reason, but he was a reason that the team was the best team in the NFC. And they ultimately got farther than the Lions. The Bears got Montez Sweat. And what was the Lions' arguable worst game of last season? At Soldier Field. And Montez Sweat made Jared Goff's life absolute hell. Sacked him once, hit him 4 times, knocked a pass down. So with Brad Holmes...
And what did fans say instantly?
they said, man, why didn't we get this guy? So I'm not mad that Brad Holmes didn't do it last year. I'm happy that Brad Holmes recognized that this is a Super Bowl window. He had to change his approach a little bit. And you know what? He did it without having to compromise any of his team building principles, as I already said. So shout out to Brad Holmes for having self-awareness and evolving and doing what's best for the Detroit Lions.
Yep. Shout out Chat Family. IT Hip says, I think Brad shocked us all because the Browns GM was asking for a fourth round draft pick ever since Hutch got hurt. But Brad just did what he always does and waits to attack at the perfect moment. Best GM ever. Jordan Lionheart at Sam Reynolds. I think it helped that Z Smith wanted to be traded here as well.
What
a culture change.
I mean, how could you not want to be traded here from the Browns? The Browns were, I mean, like I said, his first year with Cleveland, there was some hope. And they made the playoffs, and they had a good defense, and Za'Darius Smith was a big part of it. But this season, it just turned into a dumpster fire overnight. But it's Cleveland. That's why they're the Cleveland Browns. And they're still the Cleveland Browns. The Lions have actually evolved and beaten those allegations.
How does the old song go? Detroit, at least you're not Cleveland.
Oh, man. God, I actually kind of feel bad for Browns fans. But then again, I don't because... I'm just enjoying what the Lions have.
Doesn't feel bad for them.
And that's why I don't feel bad. They ruined that man. I mean, and Braylon Edwards, he still managed to put up numbers. He had a great season in Cleveland with Derek Anderson as his quarterback.
Talk about it. Thomas Woodford says, what the trade does is it galvanized the spirit of Detroit more than the team physically. I definitely do. And like, think about it. You're bringing a guy who's going to eat. I saw another comment in here I wanted to read. If I see it or if I don't get to you, please put it back into the chat. But he also talked about how this is going to help guys like Aleem on that defensive line. Yes. I know you talked about it earlier as well. This changes things now because the defense has to account for a guy who has 5 sacks so far in the season. This guy's an opportunity, I believe, on this defensive line to challenge for the league lead in sacks, honestly. Just based on not that he could be what Aiden Hutchinson was, but based on how we've seen this defense stay afloat without Aiden Hutchinson, and now you're bringing Za'Darius Smith to this line, I believe that he has an opportunity to go out there and eat, and this is going to unlock things for guys like Aleem, for guys like Levi O, for guys like DJ Reader, especially in the middle of that line. We talk about the running numbers and how the opponent running yards have creeped up. We've seen the gashes start to happen. We've seen them get 20 and 30 yards and such, and the assignment doesn't get easier as this schedule marches on. So to be able to get him and to know that now you can kind of switch and change and relax your coverages, think about it now. Instead of having to have your safeties blitz, you're able to have them say, you know what, no more 20-yard runs. That's what I like about this move and why it unlocks so much. So it might not be the Myles Garrett of trades, but this still is one, like you said, is a Super Bowl type move.
Absolutely, it is a Super Bowl type move. And Ed O'Neill in the chat, if Smith gets its 5 sacks, including the playoffs, is that a win trade? I think those are the type of numbers we can certainly expect. honestly, whether the trade is a win or a loss, and this is the story of the Lions season, is whether or not they win a Super Bowl. There's a reason why most of the chat calls the Chase Young trade for the 49ers not an ultimate win, because they did not cash one in. But Za'Darius Smith, as far as individually, I think you can pencil him in for 5 sacks and a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and maybe having a game or two which he just absolutely wrecks and damn near dominates and wins himself.
I'm calling for double-digit sacks for him on this year. I definitely am. I think he's going to eat with this defensive line. I think he's going to eat with Terrell Williams. I believe he's going to eat with those safeties sitting behind him and those linebackers. This sets up beautifully for him. Look what he was already doing with the Browns. And not that it was like cupboard bare over there, but I just trust in the culture and in the organization of the Lions.
Yes, and as we talked about, just to be fair, having Myles Garrett as your number one and you being the bookend, that does help. That does help Za'Darius Smith put up numbers. But this defensive line, and we talk about the interior, you mentioned Ali McNeil, I mentioned Ali McNeil. Ali McNeil's playing well still. He's just, at this point in these last 3 games, in terms of putting up individual numbers, is probably asked to do a little bit too much.
You go.
Now, Za'Darius Smith can take away some of the attention. And the reality is that as great as this team has been playing, as well as this defense has stepped up, when you have starting edge rushers as Alkamin Muhammad and Levi Onwuzurike, who's not even really an edge rusher, your ceiling, I don't know if that's necessarily sustainable. I'm damn proud of the way that they've played, and I'm damn proud that I believe it only takes a Za'Darius Smith and not a Myles Garrett type of move to make them Super Bowl favorites. But you'd much rather have Za'Darius Smith than not. And you'd also much rather have Josh Paschal be back healthy, which it looks like he will be.
Yeah, it's been good to see the steps that Josh Paschal has taken as well. I know there were some questions. I remember we put up the video that we have with him, and there were some fans that were like, why y'all putting up Josh Paschal? And I know that a lot of those sentiments have changed just in those, 4 or 5 weeks since that video was gone up, because Josh Paschal has shown he's taking those necessary steps to be that player that we could depend on. We just want to see the health there. But it's football. Yeah. It's football. This is what happens.
I mean, here's the thing. I predicted a Josh Paschal breakout season before the year. Do I think I'm going to get what I predicted? Maybe not, but to be fair, I believe that also means that given what the Lions have defensively in totality, that Josh Paschal, as long as he stays healthy and as long as Za'Darius Smith stays healthy, that Josh Paschal can be an effective bookend to Za'Darius Smith.
I want to add, can we talk more? I want to talk more about Josh Paschal and the defensive line in the next segment. And I know that we're going to talk about how the other trades and other teams, what they did, if that concerns you all, or what your thought is as it relates to the path to the Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions now. So let's get into that next segment. Definitely.
Tell us about New Holland, JB.
Oh, I got you.
You're already in space, huh?
Have you heard of Long Drink, that gin-based cocktail? Well, I've got one here made right in Michigan, so you can support locally. Made with all natural, real ingredients for an even better flavor. It's Taller, your Dutch long drink from New Holland Brewing Company that is shoulders above the rest. Made from New Holland small batch gin, 100% real grapefruit puree for a fresh and delicious flavor for you. It's Taller, your local Dutch long drink. You know what? Go and grab yourself a case today. Hell, get 2.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Planet Fitness, it's fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, fairly knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Hey, what up, though, people? And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and we appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the WUW Crew. Shout out to our brother Broder too, man. We see you in the chat. Hope that you all are supporting Woodward and Maine with rising star Matthew Broder and the legend Terry Foster. Listen, they preview every game, and then they break it down the next day as well. So stay tapped in with the great content that they are producing over there. As we jump back into Lions coverage, we shout out to that dude Justin too, working hard for the WUW Crew behind the scenes. We got Summer Weathers in the building. Shout out to Summer. She is taking in everything that we do here at the show. So we'll try to be on our best behavior. Chase the Great is in the building. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what up, though? How's it going this morning, everybody?
It's going good. It's going good. KG in the sound booth, Detroit's #1 draft pick.
Yes, sir. We back.
Hey, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth, JB Smooth. Hey, show me that shirt again. Flex on it real quick.
Oh, you want to see the shirt? I'm telling you right now, 4 more years, baby. 4
Campbell
more years.
and Holmes, Brad.
4 more years.
Holmes, then Campbell. And I believe they absolutely won flannel during this trade deadline. Jay Cruz, and I see you in the chats, man. That's kind of funny. The crickets, LOL. Okay, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But let me read off some of these from the chat. Brian Roof, Aleem has been double teamed non-stop. Terrell Lamar, Aleem been getting double teamed, but still been getting pressure. He is so slept on. Brian Roof, yeah. Pascal, and Smith will be great against the run compared to what we've seen the last couple of weeks. Randall Smalls, I've seen where Scheffler stated that our locker room believes Hutch will be back this season. They are playing for their teammate to get back and win a Super Bowl. And that's what all of this is for Hutch, for a Super Bowl. Personal pride and personal accountability, as well as what you do for each one of your brothers, and what this organization does to put them in a good position to get there. And you got Za'Darius Smith in the trade deadline, and Josh Pascal, who you predicted will have somewhat of a breakout year, even though it might not be to the levels that you predicted. When you look at Josh Pascal, you can see this guy is contributing at a level that the Detroit Lions absolutely need.
Well, if you're Josh Pascal right now, you kind of have no choice, because you're being thrust into a role that maybe he's not ready for, or maybe even me as somebody who predicted him to have a breakout season is not quite ready for him to have. But he's shown in spurts that he can at least put pressure on the quarterback. I think he has 4 sacks in his career, which isn't a whole lot, but he got one this year. And as I believe it was one of the guys who you mentioned said, I think he's going to be a plus against the run as well. Him and Za'Darius Smith as bookend edge rushers, they're both guys that can set the edge and defend the run as well. And as I've said before, it's something where the run defense has taken a bit of a hit. It's still good enough, but it's not to the level where it was. But maybe Za'Darius Smith being there will be a big contribution from him as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And KG, what up, though, man? Want to be able to bring you in on this conversation. Like I said, no, you didn't get a lot of time to break this stuff down with the WUW Crew and with the chat family. They're glad to have you back as well.
Yeah, appreciate
But
that.
you got Za'Darius Smith, you got Josh Pascal, you got, I know we're going to talk a little bit about how the NFC and the moves they've made have impacted this thing too. But just, this is the defensive line we have now, man. These are the potential bookends. How you feeling about it? Because I do believe Josh Pascal is going to be he's going to benefit from what this defensive line is going to be now that Za'Darius Smith is on.
No, absolutely, because you have a prominent pass rusher back there that'll help everything. So, and I want to, we talked about the crickets. I got to give it up to the flagship. They said something kind of profound yesterday. They said,
"Thank you for connecting the dots."
Right? I know we was
gotta
talking
give him
about the
credit for
Crickets a little
nothing, I'm
bit,
just
but
saying.
yeah, they said something pretty good yesterday. You can't look at this as from a standpoint that they're replacing what Aiden Hutchinson brought to the table, because you absolutely can't, especially at a trade deadline. There's just no way, especially if you can't get one of the big names. But you are replacing a Marcus Davenport. So when you look at it from that perspective, I think that's, you know, pretty right for what this defensive line looks like now. And they have the potential, man. Josh Paschal, we've talked about him as somebody that's needed to step up. Hopefully we do continue to see that. I felt like he's played pretty well in the spots that he's used. He's been better than James Houston. So, I mean, we just got to be real about the situation. And that's no offense to James Houston, but he's just not that guy right now. But if you can get that along with Aleem McNeil, along with DJ Reader, Za'Darius Smith, you know, I think it can work out, man. But it's yet to be seen.
Golly, man. And that's the thing we were talking about. It's not just having lost players to injuries. You're losing players that are just not even meeting the bare minimum expectation. They took some responsibility away from James Houston and said, okay, then just get off to the quarterback. And it still wasn't anything that we thought it would be. And just furthermore, to kind of piggyback on your last comments there, KG, this one's directed at Sam from Randall Smalls or Pascal, where others can pick up the slack.
I mean,
which is what you've been.
Yeah, but
Rando
Smalls was definitely one that actively didn't want them to make a move, so I think he's coping a little bit. But yeah, of course, it's not just going to be Smith and Pascal 100% of the snaps. We understand that, but just having Za'Darius Smith there is going to make everybody's job easier. Look for Aleem McNeil to maybe get back in the sack column this Sunday, for example. Against that Texans O-line,
he should have, that's what I'm saying. He should have just a little bit more air to breathe in. And I think that's just going to be energizing for him. Right now, he's experienced what it is to be the man. He got that contract. He got the attention now right away. Sure. And now you get a Za'Darius Smith. And I mean, as it relates to the double teams and such, you get a Za'Darius Smith in there. Now defenses have to account. No matter what we think he's going to do or not, you can't go in there and say, oh, it's just push button. You just double team Aleem McNeil. You might be setting your quarterback up to be bait. You can't do that at this point in time. And that's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to what this does for this defense now that everything is humming. Think about it. What we saw in the beginning of the season, Dan Campbell came out and said, yeah, we're still getting things together. Now you're talking about a team that has already hit its stride and is beating teams into a pulp that they're crying and complaining about it. That's what I'm saying. I can't wait. As this team gets more healthy, knock on wood. Yeah. I just can't wait to see where this thing goes. We're still sitting here what if with Iffy? Just what if we get Iffy back? Wherever Barnes is, just the what ifs of this thing. This thing could get so much better for the Lions.
J-Bo's coming back. Branch is coming back.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
the soons.
It is beautiful to think about. Malcolm Rodriguez should be back soon. We don't know about Derek Barnes, but the Lions have certainly they made a power move yesterday. But I wanted to also highlight the NFC, because there were a couple teams in the NFC that I thought made interesting and in one case maybe under the radar moves. I want to start with the Minnesota Vikings, because whether you like them or not, I know if you say the Vikings and anything other than gutter trash in the presence of Stick and Neil that they'll come at you. But the reality is that they're 6-2.
Break this down for us,
whether they're fraudulent or not, they're 6-2, and I do think they ultimately sneak into the playoffs. They themselves had I would say a catastrophic injury happened to them with their tackle Christian Darrisaw being out for the season. And they did kind of a similar type of move to what the Lions did. They went and went after not someone to replace Christian Darrisaw, but be that veteran who can help continue to protect Sam Darnold's blind side in Cam Robinson from the Jaguars. Again, not as good as Christian Darrisaw, and Za'Darius Smith isn't as good as Hutch, but he stabilizes things a bit, and he's a pro's pro. So the Vikings, they think that, whether we think so or not, they think that they can go to the playoffs and make some noise. So they made a power move themselves. And when it comes to the Washington Commanders, they went out and got themselves Marshawn Lattimore, which I was pretty surprised about, but that's a big move for them as well. And Marshawn Lattimore, to me, he's maybe a slight bit overrated,
I'm glad you brought that up. I had it in the notes to ask you about that trade. Talk there.
And don't get me wrong, Marshawn Lattimore is going to help the Washington Commanders. But if you would have told after Marshawn Lattimore's rookie year, I would have thought that he was the next Darrelle Revis. He kind of peaked as a rookie. He's had some other Pro Bowl type seasons, but he never quite reached that height that he had as a rookie, but he's damn good, and he's going to help that Commanders secondary. And this is where I almost have to let Chase off the hook, and I'm not going to keep belaboring this point, but who would have thought after all the offseason moves were made that the Washington Commanders actually had the best offseason?
You're making excuses, Sam. Those are excuses.
No.
These are excuses.
Chase, I'm letting you off the hook.
I know.
I'm letting you off the hook.
I know.
No, I'm letting you off the hook. But to be fair, I didn't pick them to be as bad as you did. But the Washington Commanders, low-key, had the best offseason of any team in the NFL. Seriously, because what were we worried about coming into the season? Their defense. Everybody thought that it was going to be trash, but they added Jeremy Chin, Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner, Dorrance Armstrong, and Dante Fowler. Those are stalwarts on that defense. And, of course, they drafted Jaden Daniels, who's arguably having the greatest rookie quarterback season ever. They picked up Noah Brown. They picked up Austin Eckler. And the reason that I highlight these moves...
And one of the best defensive rookies of all time.
Mikey Sandersville and Jershawn Newton. But the reason why I bring those teams up is I don't think that they're a threat to the Lions because, let's just be honest, after watching the Lions play at Green Bay, I'm not sure they lose again the rest of the season, especially that they did that and then added Za'Darius Smith. Yep. However, those are two teams with 2 losses, and the Vikings, they do play the Lions head-to-head again. So I just think it's important to be mindful of what other teams do. But I will say this. If the Lions get all of their playoff games at Ford Field, they're not losing. They're not losing at Ford Field in a playoff game.
Oh, I love that. That's definitely a clip. The Real K77, I like this from a strategy standpoint. He says, I still think AG should send blitzes like he's been doing.
I mean,
you won't have to blitz as much now.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do it as much.
Yeah, you can't rely on that going forward because then that's going to leave your secondary exposed. And while they have been good, you don't want to leave your guys on islands all the time.
So it should make the blitzes more effective, but more or less what I was like, this should free up a little bit of that defense, keep our safeties back so that we're not getting, some of our, we've seen some of these running backs in the recent weeks gash this defense. Yeah. It's not even like they're beating us consistently. It's just they're going out there and they're able to find the gaps because our safeties are playing up and having to blitz down. So I'm hoping that this makes us more balanced defensively than anything. That's a good point.
I mean, in a perfect world, you want to get pressure with your front four. And I think you're actually capable of doing that now on a consistent basis. Am I saying that the Lions will never blitz again? Certainly not. And Za'Darius Smith is certainly not what Aiden Hutchinson was, but he's an upgrade over what they had, and he's a defensive end that can actually consistently win one-on-ones and has been a damn good player in the NFL for about a decade now, and he's still good. That's why I'm continuing to be more and more happy about this move, because I could talk about his 3 double-digit sack seasons. I'm talking about what he's doing this year. He's having a very, very good season, and he's certainly an upgrade over anything that they had. So I hope that they don't have to dial up as many blitzes and they can still get pressure.
Oh my God. It's the king. I told y'all we got a nice special slide for the back wall today. It is the king. He has won today. Mr. Dan Campbell.
Oh, absolutely, he's won.
Shout out to him. A flow that could rival one that dude Justin.
I said real quick, if we're going to talk about winners today, I saw in the chat Adam Shawley, their dad, Jim, huge Lions fan. It's their birthday today. Oh, wow. So I want to know if we could just give a quick, huge shout out to Adam's dad, Jim Shawley. Hope you're having a happy birthday, however happy old birthday, you are. Jim. Hopefully this is the year you see the Lions win the Super Bowl, and hopefully you have many more years ahead of you as well. So happy birthday to you, Jim Shawley.
What a birthday gift that the Lions are delivering right now.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Happy birthday, Jim.
And just to highlight maybe a couple other teams in the NFC, the 49ers, it looks like they're getting Christian McCaffrey back, but they already lost Ayuk for the season, and they have 4 losses. I don't think the Lions are going to I don't think they're going to get to 4 losses. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they didn't really make a move. Obviously, the Saquon move in the offseason has been absolutely huge. You see their rookie corners, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, being great so far, at least for rookies. But I think the Philadelphia Eagles will ultimately be undone by their head coach. I still question whether or not Nick Sirianni is any good. You got to give him credit because he did get them to a Super Bowl, but he's a buffoon. he's a child. He's a literal petulant child in the way that in some of his antics that he's done over the years. And I think that that's not really like a way that a coach should behave himself. And the Eagles as a team imploded last year. So I think the Lions will ultimately still get the 1 seed, even though I got to give credit to the Commanders and the Vikings for making moves that they needed to make as well.
You forgot one team.
What's up?
One team I'm definitely concerned about.
Hold on. Hold that, because I'm going to say, let's carry this into the next segment. I got my reasons as to why I believe that the Lions are going to, do what you're saying, have that potential to win out. But KG, out the break, hold that thought. Hold that thought. All right, let's get to that next segment for real.
Absolutely. I got to tell you about Woodward in Maine and the pregame show, of course. You got Terry Foster, you got Matt Broder every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. and every day after Lions games before Wake Up Woodward, you can watch Woodward in Maine. What a combination that they are. A legend who's been there, done that, and a rising star. Love to see it. Love watching them. They do a great job. And then, of course, after that, before every Lions game, you can watch the pregame show starring these guys making those faces, Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. Hey, that was all of us after the Za'Darius Smith trade. But the pregame show, every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Baligian bring you the best Lions pregame show, Sunday 6 to 8 p.m. on Woodward Sports. This week, it is live at Hayes Social in Shelby. It's actually before the game. Everything's at a Hayes Social. The pregame, the watch party, the postgame, and they got the latest injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday. Home games are live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Les Stanford Chevrolet.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. With 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability, scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
KDK Law got your back. Hey, you know that Wake Up Woodward and Woodward Sports got your back as well. I know that the WUW Crew got mine, and chat family, I'm hoping that you got ours. Go ahead and smash that like button. Hey, you know what? Can we satisfy the like button?
I mean,
can we try?
I ain't 100%, but
your voice still sounds good, KG.
Yeah, let's rock, man. Let's satisfy that like button real quick if we can. You gotta hit that. Hey. I can hear it.
Hey, what's up, people? I know y'all feeling good out there. You know that Za'Darius Smith trade just went through. You know we kind of had an election, but that's neither here nor there. Go ahead and satisfy that like button. Lay it down real nice and slow. Plug it in, please. Plug it in.
I gotta let that breathe for a little bit because we got the legend. I forgot we got Rod Beard on.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, hey, you know what? We got the legend, Detroit News, Rod Beard, the sports editor-in-chief of the Detroit News, on to give us his perspective on Detroit sports. And then we also got another segment. I saw you, Terrell, FL, and others. We got to talk about the play-in Pistons right now in the next segment. But we got to talk a little Lions with Rod Beard. What up, though, brother?
Happy Wednesday. You got me?
Hey, we got you. Good to see you as always, brother. Talk to Cody as well, man. We're going to get him in here. Cody Davis, Detroit Pistons beat writer. But he also covered the Texans and the Rockets, who both of those squads are playing Detroit this Sunday. So Friday, you guys got to tap in. We're going to have him on. He's going to break this thing down. I do not like his allegiances, Rod, but he's from the Detroit News, so he's good people's.
No, just wait till we get to the winter. Then you'll really test his allegiances, where I don't think he had winter boots or winter coat or anything like that. We'll see where he is.
No.
That's good. Look at Flannel already cheesing.
That's a good test, yeah.
That's going to be a test. But, Rod, the Detroit Lions, Brad Holmes, they did something at this trade deadline. A pretty big something. Za'Darius Smith. And the first question is this. Everything has to be looked at in the scope of a Super Bowl. Is this that move?
It's the move they had to make to stay in contention. And you saw that all the other contenders sort of made some type of move to try to improve their rosters. The Lions had to do this, had to improve the pass rush. If you look at the last couple of games where they didn't get a ton of pressure on either of the quarterbacks, this was something they had to do to even try it, to make that where their defensive line has some kind of redeeming quality to it.
Yeah, absolutely. How impressed were you with the Lions' victory over Green Bay on Sunday? Because as you said, they didn't really have much of a pass rush. They didn't really stop the run that great. But the defense, they tightened up and they were opportunistic. They forced a pick six. They were good in the red zone. So how impressive of a win and how big of a win was that for the Lions?
Huge win for the Lions because it's in division. It gives them essentially a 2-game margin over Green Bay and Minnesota. And we're not worried about the Bears at this point. But it's also in the slop. There was so much talk about they needed to go outdoors. This was an indoor team. They needed to go out in the slop and wrestle the pigs, and they did that. They went out in the elements, and it wasn't just cold. It was rainy, sloppy, and they were able to do what they needed to do offensively, and then defensively just to hold them off in the second half. This wasn't one of those 50 points splurges that we had talked about in previous weeks, but if the elements were better, it just might have been. You never know. But just to give up one touchdown in this game was good to see.
Yeah, and that one touchdown, Rod, came at the 3:49 mark. I just want to ask you this, or just get your thoughts on the job that Aaron Glenn is doing this season. Last year, and we talked about it as well, Flannel talked about it on the show yesterday on the question we were all asking, is it the personnel or is it the coaching? They got him a little bit of help. And we saw this defense take off. He lost a big piece on that defense and had some other injuries, and we still see the defense humming. Regardless of if there are individual things we know they need, like a pass rush, this defense is still putting opponents' offenses in a vice grip, and they're not letting go. Just what you're seeing from Aaron Glenn this year. And like Flannel said yesterday, guys, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, they have some checkered history, some checkered past. You don't want to hire those types of guys. They're fitting for a place like Detroit.
No, and I think the thing is, the personnel is part of it. I'll say it's a combination of things. That your offense is doing enough where you're forcing the other team's offense, because of the deficit that they're in, they can't run the ball. They can't do offense the way they want to do. They've got to throw the ball and play from behind. Probably in the second quarter in most of these cases. You get into halftime with that big defensive play, the pick six, that gets you a good enough margin where it's okay. Now let's just roll this out. So I think it's the belief also that you can make some plays. We haven't really called Terrion Arnold's name and heard it quite as much on those PIs, that he's making big time mistakes, but you're also getting defensive touchdowns, turnovers. I forgot what the number was, but I think they're one of the top teams in the league in turnovers, in turnover margin, because Goff's not giving you the ball either. And even when Montgomery fumbles, it's like what is going on with the world that he's giving you a takeaway. So those things in concert, they're just playing like a professional elite level team Goff is efficient. The offense is scoring points, and the defense, as banged up as it is right now, is just not giving up a lot of points either.
Hey, Rod, and I'm glad you brought up turnovers because the person behind a lot of those turnovers is my boy Big Kirby Joseph, man. He's having a hell of a year, but would you put him in Defensive Player of the Year consideration at this point?
Not yet, because some of it is kind of circumstantial. You're not seeing him in – he's making those types of plays, but he's not going up in the box and knocking out running backs or something. You play the Ravens and he knocks down – Big Tank, then yeah, we're talking about something different. Those are the types of plays that get you Defensive Player of the Year. The arc that Aiden Hutchinson was on, where it's just sack after sack after sack after sack. A person who makes good plays like that is going to get a couple of votes, but you've got to do something and be very special to be the Defensive Player of the Year. He'll get some votes. I don't think he's going to win it.
Okay. Yeah. No, go ahead, brother.
No. I probably have him a little bit higher on my list than you do, but I don't have him first or anything. But Kirby Joseph is having himself a heck of a year. But I wanted to kind of give my statement and see if you agree with it or not. The fact that the Lions, like before the Vikings game, we discussed trade partners like Za'Darius Smith, and I wasn't as high on it. I thought it would be a good move, but not one that would move the needle enough. But then seeing the Lions go 3-0 without Aiden Hutchinson, which is unbelievable, and players on the defensive side of the football stepping up, I now have been my mind is completely changed. That I think that Za'Darius Smith is enough.
Nobody can change your mind, Sam. That's not true.
No, I'm just saying that would I love a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett or like a Trey Hendrickson or a Harold Landry? Absolutely. But now after seeing the Lions go 3-0 and make some adjustments and manufacture pressure in some ways, and guys like Kirby and Aleem and Branch and Jack Campbell are stepping up, I believe that Za'Darius Smith is that put the Lions over the top move.
Yeah, I think they were going to be okay, but you need some pressure. You can't just have Jordan Love just sitting back there and just eating an ice cream sandwich. You need to get pressure on him and move some of these other quarterbacks around. And if you're forecasting the Super Bowl and you're saying Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes is going to be back there and just have that amount of time, that would be problematic. So I think it may be some adjustment here in the next few weeks where defensive end is one of those positions where it's not, you need a few weeks to adjust. And we saw the same thing with DeAndre Hopkins with the Chiefs. As a receiver, you need some time to adjust to your quarterback. Defensive ends, you can just kind of show him a picture of a quarterback and say, hey, go tackle this guy. That's the assignment. Just go do that. So I think that's where we are with it's going to be something. And here's the thing that I'm looking most forward to. This is a short-term, long-term win. Short-term, you needed to do this for your chances in the playoffs in the Super Bowl this year. He's under contract next year, too. So you can play him opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and that's when the defense is really going to hum, and you're going to feel like, wow, they're really getting some pressure. And that's what this deal might have been about, is attacking this window, the entire window, this year, next year, and possibly maybe extending him, because if he wanted to be in Detroit and he likes it here, you might be able to keep him for the rest of this window that you have.
And Rod, I hate to backtrack, but I just got to get your thoughts on the Brian Branch play. At the time that it happened, I thought it was absolutely garbage by the league. The guy wasn't out of bounds. There was no way for him to stop his momentum. But, of course, they threw the flag late, and then, he ends up getting ejected from the game. What was your thoughts around that play in particular? And do you think he'll be drawing the ire from the referees going forward later on in the season?
No, I think it's an isolated incident. But if you go into an NFL locker room, there are posters that say, here's the proper way to tackle. You can't lead with your head. You can't launch yourself. You can't, because things change just that quickly. You see the play being a certain way. He had like a step or two before he made contact, so he had to launch himself to do that. A fundamental tackling play would say you can either pull up or you just don't launch yourself. I think it's the right call because he had opportunity to do that. And we talk about the speed of football. You just don't have time to do a lot of these things, and to think you just got to do. But that's one where he probably should have just kept running or just kind of pulled off.
Yeah, definitely. And listen, we got one more segment with the legend Rod Beard. spitting that fire as always, but I got to tell you guys something first. You got to walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Listen, it's open 7 days a week, all right? Sit back, relax, and enjoy a $20 haircut special, a scalp massage, a hot lather neck shave. Stop thinking about leather.
Watch yourself.
All right, and a hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special. All you got to do is scan that QR code somewhere around the screen. Y'all will probably find it before I do, and when you do, though, you will get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. It's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Fuel your Lions and Detroit sports fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted coffee delivered right to your door. So they're treating you right. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com, choose your favorite roast, and make sure you're using code Woodward to receive 25% off your first subscription order. Awaken and wine, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Hey!
What was the date last year, the third win? It was December 30th, yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
And then, like, you guys have won, I mean, I'm not trying to make light of it. It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
and you guys have won 3 or 4. Like, how, I mean, what does it feel like when you put that across your chest now where it's like, okay, like, I mean, this has been a pretty tight or pretty quick turnaround to, like, learn, like, of playing winning basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good for sure. Most importantly, we had a rough start, but you know what I'm saying. We stayed engaged, and we want to earn the league's respect more than anything. So, you know, this win feels amazing for us, but we're not satisfied at all. I mean, we're not jumping up and down and celebrating like we won a championship in there. Like, we're hungry to get to Charlotte and continue to do what we're doing, and keep building on this one.
Thanks, Gabe.
Appreciate it.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. Shout out to the 3-5 play-in Pistons. As I look at the teams that are ahead of them in the standings and the teams behind them, and I see how this team, the potential of it, you know what? A little bit more bullish about these Pistons, but I want to be able to get the opinions of one legend, Detroit News Rod Beard. So let's drum roll him in. You guys already know how we do for Woodward Pistons. Hey, yo! Shout out and welcome to the legend, Detroit News Rod Beard. Brother, first and foremost, take it away with Rod's thoughts. Just because my quick thought is just Cade's face when it's set in. Like, what? December 30th? Like, it's 2 months early, bro. His face is like, he was like, what? Man,
that is PTSD that he's going through of, like, I don't even remember. Like, he has to ask us, and normally he would know something like that. That's like the one of those things. 3-5, 10th place in the East. I would play the if the season ended today, but I hate that stuff because if the season ended today, we'd be wondering why teams only played 8 games. Why are we only playing 8 games in a season? So we said in the beginning it would be the eye test. Don't measure it by the record.
Yep.
Look at the eye test and look at how competitive they were against the good teams. And I think I said last week, they haven't had that game where they were down, they got beat down by 30 in the first half, and you were just like, okay, well, let's just watch the rest of this clock go. The Knicks game is really the only one that was just out of reach in the first half, but they've played every single team tough outside of that Knicks game. And that's what you wanted to see. And from a defensive perspective, you can see that there. The pieces are there, the bones are there of what could be. And you're seeing certain guys just sort of have their contributions, and you want to see how much that can continue into the remainder and the teeth of the season. But, I mean, this week you're looking at Charlotte, Atlanta. I mean, you got some more winnable games here if you continue to play that way. And that's what you want to see from this team, is that they continue to have this swag about them that we're not that bad. We're not as bad as the record showed the past couple of years. And there you go.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's the last time that the Pistons take the subway to the Knicks game. I don't think that they're ever going to do that again. You talk about hitting the court and being completely flat. The reason why I was like, listen, I told people heading into these couple wins, the Pistons are going to have a great chance to win this. So we put it on wax, put it out there. People said you're crazy. I said, listen, Men in Black, this Knicks game, this one does not matter because it was uncharacteristic to what we've seen thus far. What I was able to see in practices and such, things are just different. The vibes are different. And to be able to come from that Knicks win, that Knicks loss, we just getting drubbed, and put together back-to-back wins, you know, on back-to-back days. Those used to be the banes. You're talking about a first-place schedule, it feels like, to start this season, and you're back-to-back coming from the road, and you get those wins in eerily similar fashion, too. Physical, punishing defense, Isaiah Stewart being the heart and the soul, Kay Cunningham being that deal, and Jaden Ivey proving to be that backcourt mate. We saw the vets as well. They're stabilizing, a steadying hand that we thought they could be is what I've seen them be the last couple games. And Tim Hardaway, that guy, I think, is exceeding expectations to start the season. I see why he's in the starting lineup right now, and he's putting in that work. But one of the things that's impressed me is this early on. I wanted to see what adjustments J.B. Bickerstaff would make, because we saw the Pistons lose 2-3 games in a row the exact same way. So they were in the games. They were leading some of these. Realistically, if we want to be real, they should probably be 500, but we won't play the if game. I will look at what changes I've seen since that kind of slow start and what we've seen since they've won 3 of the last 4 games. And J.B. Bickerstaff made the tweaks to how he's utilizing Isaiah Stewart. He's also made the tweaks to how he's utilizing Jaden Ivey at the end of quarters. Going into the fourth quarter of the Lakers game, the third quarter, what was one of the things we talked about during the 0-3? That K was planning to complete third quarters. And people say, but you can't pull him out when he's hot, but he's dead in the fourth quarter. What did they do in the third quarter going into the Lakers game? It was Jaden Ivey running the show, and Cade was on the bench, and I even remarked about it online. And then he came right back in the fourth quarter. He was fresh. They took him out again for a long stretch, and then they brought him back for the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And it was like, you know what? I could see it. Even the offensive sets, they're really catering to how these players play. And somebody told Tobias Harris, I don't care if you make a 3 or not, score the ball. From all 3 levels of the court now, he's playing this gritty style of basketball that's absolutely needed. But he needs to be the 3. I am really impressed with Jaden Ivey. That's just kind of my quick thoughts on all what we've seen from the Pistons. Flannel, I see you're ready to go too, man. I see you look happy. You look pleased.
No, I'm extremely happy. So, Rod, I know it's 8 games, and not a lot of conclusions can be drawn from 8 games. But through 8 games, how would you grade Cade Cunningham's season so far?
I think it's been an A. He's been up and down a little bit, and the turnovers are still concerning, but it's numbers. Put the numbers out there, and you've got to be the go-to guy in the fourth quarter. You can't do it alone, and that might be some of the reason why they lost some of those first games is he felt like he was just the Cade Crusader, and he was going to have to score all of the points in the fourth quarter. As they balance that out, you can see the results are a little bit different. But 23 points, 6.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, those are the numbers that we expect from him. And so I think he's been what we thought. The other pieces around him, when they gelled and the chemistry started to develop, that's when you would see some of this. But this is what we said. You need to get him pieces. You need to get him 3-point shooting for him to be Cade. And what do you have? Tim Hardaway, and people were down on him in the preseason, and I said that's going to turn around because he's a shooter, and he needs to be in the starting lineup. What do you get? 49% from three. Not sustainable. Not saying that it's going to be that, but part of their early success is his 3-point shooting, and put that with Ivy at 39%. And those are the new additions. And the other 30+% shooter is Malik Beasley. Those are just shots from guys that they're timely threes. They're not necessarily game-winning threes, but they're timely threes when when the Lakers are trying to come back and one of those guys hits a three to really just make you feel, okay, everything's going to be all right now. We were up. They cut the lead down to 10 or 11. Okay, that big three put it back to 14. Okay, we're good now. So those are the types of things that these vets coming in provide you, the sort of stability to feel like when the sky is not going to fall, this lead isn't going to evaporate in just a second, because one of these guys can be a professional scorer when it's needed, and they can help us stay in this game.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on Jalen Duren really quickly, because I've really liked what I've seen from him the last couple games, especially defensively. And if we can get the Jalen Duren that we saw Sunday against the Nets, I mean, he had 13.
Against my guy Claxton, bro.
Yeah,
he showed out.
Yeah, he had a game, man. 13 points, I believe 17 rebounds. He had 3 blocks and a steal. If we can get that kind of Jalen
5
Duren.
of 5 from the floor.
Yeah, hey, talk about it. If we can get that all year, with this Pistons team, that goes a long way to what they can do. But just talk about what you've seen from Jalen Duren so far, and what is still some areas of improvement that you would like to see him make.
When he's not in foul trouble, he's a beast.
There it is.
Against the Sixers, foul trouble. And Stewart is able to come in and kind of plug that gap, but you need him to be selectively aggressive on defense, that he can't just come in and be a monster and a boogeyman and just hit everything that comes. No, you gotta be selective in that. Sometimes giving up the basket is the smart move. It's not the best move, but it's the smart move to do, just so you can stay in the game. And the center depth is okay, but you don't need to have him on the bench in critical junctures, because you need him with Cade to run that pick and roll and to be the dunker spot. So you need him there.
Yep.
Yeah, and one more question from me. Where the hell is Simone Fontecchio? Where has he been? What is going on with him? Because I know we talked about it on the WUW, pretty much saying, like, he can't get his own offense, which is, I think, part of the problem. But he just doesn't look like the same player. He doesn't have that same confidence. And that's somebody that you really need. If you're going to have him on the bench, that's somebody that you're really going to need to score the basketball. What is going on with Simone Fontecchio right now?
I think he's just trying to find a fit. And then, as we're talking about chemistry, that's part of it. It's just, okay, where do I fit in this whole operation? Am I the second quarter guy when my time is the end of the second quarter, or the beginning of the second quarter when the starters go out? And we kind of, I think that's part of finding yourself in that. And it's sort of the same area where Tobias is we know they need him to be a top tier scorer, but he just is finding his way to sort of get there. But look, if you are trying to gauge where the Pistons are, and you said Tobias was only going to be a 13-point a game guy, and they would have.
Oh, he was preaching.
Yeah, he was.
Is he there?
Me and preach.
Same sort of thing, because you would have wanted his 3-point percentage to be higher, and you're doing it without Tech and 3-point shooting, and you're doing it without Tobias, and you still have 3 wins. I think if you look at that and what we said at the beginning of the year, if you said those two things, you would say the Pistons do not have a win at all, because Tobias would have to be a 23 to 25 point a game scorer, and he's half of that.
Man, you preaching. I believe that what's changed for Simone Fontecchio over last year is last year he was playing with Cade Cunningham a lot more. This year he's in more bench lineups. Or in the game when Cade Cunningham is going to the bench. And that, I believe, is going to play a factor. What it says to me, though, is that maybe they have certain things earmarked. the glaring thing is that the Pistons need a point guard off the bench. And I do believe that if they get the right point guard, that can help. If the role for someone in Fontecchio is off the bench, that can help them. But I want to be able to play something, just give a little shout out and spotlight to Isaiah Stewart. Let's play the Isaiah Stewart ones, man. So we'll start with JB Bickerstaff. It might be the 31-second one, and then we'll go to the other Cade one first. They had some big things to say about the heart and the soul of the team, who a lot of people saw a change in how this Pistons team is playing defense this year when Isaiah Stewart stepped up, and it's just been this absolute Tasmanian devil in the middle. Let's hear from him.
With the defensive improvements, you also have the offensive cohesion. Another game, another win. Back-to-back games where you have 6 players in double figures. If you can just talk about what the team is doing right on offense right now.
It's balance, it's selflessness, and it's guys looking out for one another, sacrificing for one another, helping to put each other in positions of strength. And then the ball is moving. We're not holding on to the ball, expecting one guy to make all the plays. We're finding out that if you make teams chase you possession by possession, defenses get leaky. And the more we move the ball, the more leaky the defense gets, the more advantages we create. And again, we believe we got guys that can take advantage of those situations.
And can you just also the impact of Isaiah Stewart? He was just in the middle causing havoc on both ends of the court.
Yeah, I mean that's who Stu is. A guy who does a thankless job every single night. So we try our best to make sure he knows how much we appreciate him. Because playing in the mud and playing in the trenches every single night, it doesn't get highlighted. The fact that he sets so many screens for so many people and creates so many opportunities for everybody else on the floor, like nobody writes about that. But we understand how important it is and how much we value it.
And talking about just the physicality, can you speak to the impact that Isaiah Stewart has had for you guys on defense and offense?
Yeah, I mean, he's been incredible for us. Just bringing that energy every game. Teams hate to play against him, you know what I'm saying? And he's one of the most fun guys you can play with just because he brings that intensity every night, every practice. And, I mean, he's a motherfucker to try to guard on, so or try to score on. So, that's the main thing, man. It's somebody that we all love playing with, and, he's going to keep on doing his thing.
Cade, do you think the team loves Isaiah Stewart, man? You talk about the heart and soul. No matter where we believe he should be in that lineup, it's clear that he has an impact for this squad. They love him. JB Bickerstaff, man, think about this, Rod. I got scolded for not writing about him and then cussed out by Cade Cunningham in support of Beef Stew. And that thing, it went, man. Listen, all of us in the meeting room were like, wait, did Cade just cuss at us for Isaiah Stewart? And it's like, you know what? If that's the type of nasty that Isaiah Stewart is going to bring out of this team, I'm all here for it, Rod. I'm all for you.
Yeah, I mean, it is Cade being, and that's what you got to do is even sometimes you got to snap back on people and just say, hey, look, y'all have a certain narrative and things that y'all go by. Y'all need to recognize some other stuff that's going on too. And while we were doing that, I was just trying to look at some 5-man lineups for the Pistons, and the starting lineup is 14 minutes a game. There's not really another one that is close to that, and none that have tech in it at all. So the productivity there of just, it's what's working right now. And in the position that you're in, you go with what works. And so I think that's what we're looking at. And so the best 3-point shooting kind of lineups is that starting lineup, and then the one with Stu instead of Duren. So you're setting up your opportunities. You have to be a 3-point shooting team, and they shoot 65% when they have Stu instead of Duren, and then with Duren they're shooting 41%. Those are two of the best groupings of the 5-mans that they have. They're kind of minus in both of those. They don't score. They're not really ahead, but you've got to figure out a way to create those 3-point opportunities. And we talked about Hardaway at 49. We talked about Cade at 38. Those guys have to be your scorers, and you've got to be able to make those 3-point shots within that offense. And no matter what combination you have, they're making those shots.
Hey, they definitely are, man. This, as always, Rod Beard, the legend, bringing that heat. Any last words, people? Any last words on the Pistons? The playing Pistons?
Playing Pistons. Keep winning, man. Keep winning.
Just keep winning. Week by week. Week by week. You just got to keep chopping wood, carry water. Just every week continue to do that.
That's a word. That's a word. And you know what? Shout out to the rookie, Ron Holland, as well. He just continues to find ways to make a difference. I know a lot of people had some doubts about the draft class. but he is very, very bullish on what he can do. Looking forward to what he can bring as the season goes on. But, hey, we got to get back into the rest of the lineup. Thank you again to Rod Beard, sports editor-in-chief over at the Detroit News. Definitely check out their work, support what they do. Great people and good professionals as well, man. Thank you, Rod, for your time today.
Appreciate it. Good Wednesday, guys.
Yeah, definitely. We know it's Wednesday because the legend is on with us. Go ahead, people, smash that like button for the legend, for the Pistons, man. I love when I'm able to take the shots like this and it's like Pistons win across the back. Like Flannel said, just keep winning. All right, let's get into this next segment then.
Absolutely. Tell us about Caesars, JB.
Oh, speaking about winning, Caesars Sportsbook, the official sports book of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan the QR code on the screen right now. Use code Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, and all you got to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And if it doesn't hit, they will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more except for some free money, which they're giving you right now. Scan the QR code on the screen. Use code Woodward1000. You know what? Make some money today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila, proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste of tequila. Drink responsibly.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It's Wake Up Woodward, and we got to get back into NFL talk, get a little bit more around the NFL. The Lions' NFL, that was a possessive S there. Shout out, man. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and Co. Jared Goff. Amon-Ra, I can name everybody. Branch Curbs. It was crazy seeing those guys at the Pistons game, too. The time they spent there, the kids, they were just running up to these guys like, yo, we want the autographs, we want the autographs. They were taking time for everyone. Security was trying to whisk them away, and they were like, no, we got the time. It was really cool to see how this team is able to connect with and interact with. Hey, shout out to JB the GOAT getting that up there on the screen. Yeah, they were having fun because what was going on behind them, the fans were lined up taking those shots they do at the end of the game. So they were going in and just interacting with fans. They didn't have to do that. You know, they could have dipped, they could have left. We've seen, other situations like this where the Lions come and they just take time with the fans. So shout out to them because they deserve also kind of the honor that the fans are bestowing on them.
Absolutely, they do. Yep. Absolutely.
And hopefully that there's some honor bestowed upon them in your top 10 list.
Yes.
My top 10 list, the only thing that matters is the Honolulu Blue.
All right. JB, you decide who goes first.
You can go first, Flannel.
Oh, yes. Yes.
But a little bit more to break down in Flannel's list than mine.
That is, you know what? I don't care. I don't care if I'm going to make any friends or not. This is my list, and we can have a discussion about it because there is another person other than myself at this network that's going to bode heavy in my analysis on this top 10 list. So stay tuned. At number 10,
I love flannel.
I got the Houston Texans. They haven't quite looked as impressive as they did last year, but, Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter are still balling out. I keep hearing a little bit too much, I think, slander going C.J. Stroud's way. I'm being told now by the MK Ultra handler Neil Rule that C.J. Stroud is regressing and he's having a sophomore slump. And now all of a sudden, about 80 to 90% of the chat now believes that. I swear, that man says something and it just programs their brain with stuff.
John F. and Lord has already graded your chat.
Absolutely.
He's already graded your ranking.
At number 9, I have the Atlanta Falcons.
Damn, that's rough.
Matthew Judon hasn't quite showed up like the addition that I thought he would be, but do you know who has? Kirk Cousins. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Darnell Mooney are in heaven right now playing with Kirk Cousins as opposed to the hell that they've been in the last few years. And Bijan Robinson is playing well, as playing great as well. Just their defense can be a problem. Speaking of their defense being a problem, number 8, the Baltimore Ravens. Isn't it insane that the Baltimore Ravens rank last in the NFL in yards allowed per game through the air? Last. With the Ravens, you think defense. But this year, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are playing at a level together that I didn't even expect. They've been absolutely immaculate, but they still have 3 losses. I worry about that defense, especially if they have to play playoff games against the Bills, the Chiefs, and the like. At number 7, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quiet as kept, Russell Wilson's been playing really well since he came here. And again, the MK Ultra handler, Neil Rule, tells me that Russell Wilson's terrible. You should discredit his whole Hall of Fame career. He's the worst quarterback ever, that Mike Tomlin's winning despite him. And he also tells me that Justin Fields was good in Chicago. All of those are wrong. Russell Wilson is making a huge difference with them. And they just added Mike Williams and Preston Smith.
Also remember, he does lunges down the middle of the airplane line.
And he has action figure hair.
He's
Again,
dangerous.
Lego hair.
At number 6,
Lego hair.
at number 6, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Again, the MK Ultra handler Neil Rule will tell you that the Minnesota Vikings are horrible. Stick will say the exact same thing. And honestly, when you hear stuff like that, I think it actually they're actually doing a disservice to what the Lions actually did. They went on the road and they beat a very good Vikings team that just replaced Christian Darrisaw. Sam Darnold is playing well. Aaron Jones is playing well. Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in football, and their defensive pieces that they've added have contributed, and a lot of them have played well as well. At number 5, the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels is having maybe the greatest rookie season in NFL history, and their defense has stepped up in a way, mostly because of their free agency acquisitions that I never thought that they would or could, and they just added Marshawn Lattimore. At number 4, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. They are just so talented. They might have top to bottom, arguably the best roster in the NFL, and they're undefeated in games in which A.J. Brown plays, believe it or not. His injury had a big impact in the offense not looking so great in a couple of games. It's just, as I've said, I worry about their head coach, but they're still going to be very, very good. At number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, as I said before the season, he's enough of a force multiplier type great quarterback to help withstand some of the losses like Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. And their defense, which lost a lot of players as well, has stepped up and played fantastic. They're 7-2. They're looking to maybe make a run at the Super Bowl themselves. That's why I got them at number 3. And this is where the controversy starts. Yeah. At number 2, the Detroit Lions. I don't think I have to say too much on them. We discuss them on the show all day, every day. They're already a great team. They just added Za'Darius Smith. They're going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. But at number 1, I still have to put the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody, grab your torches and pitchforks and throw tomatoes at me if you want.
They have been. They have been
but
in the chat.
They are the 2-time defending champion that is currently undefeated. They just added DeAndre Hopkins. And in the last 2 games with DeAndre Hopkins, Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. So the reports of his demise, too, are greatly exaggerated. You got to respect what the Chiefs have done. You got to respect what Patrick Mahomes has done and the likes of Chris Jones, Andy Reid, Spagnuolo, Kelsey, and all of that. So until they give me a reason to not put them at number 1, they will be number 1 because I got a lot of respect for what they've done.
All right. Hey, listen, Anakin Sky Ogre. That might be a name that's familiar to you.
Yes.
Sam, dude, come on. Yes, they're undefeated, but they're not looking that good.
I would disagree. I think they make plays during winning time that they basically they're one of those teams which I truly believe, and you have to give them credit because they've won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. I truly think they can turn it on and off, kind of like the Warriors during their heyday.
Yeah.
You saw what happened in overtime.
Yeah.
The second that they wanted to go down and score the game-winning touchdown, they were absolutely surgical.
I was in the media room writing an article after the win against the Lakers. Shout out to the Pistons again. Oh, yeah. And we were sitting there watching that game, and it was just like, oh my gosh. Like, you knew exactly what was going to happen. It was like, okay, there comes a point in the game where Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are a cheat code. It doesn't matter what struggles you think you saw before. How many people last year said that they struggled based on the type of season they had? And they had, 6 losses last year, I believe?
Yeah.
You know, and how many people said that was a struggle season for them? It was a down year for them.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where they were winning games because Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid it. That's just how it goes. So it's like, I get it. Mine's a little bit different, but I want to be able to give the chat family their opportunity to be able to talk about your list a little bit.
Yeah.
So, shot.
Of course.
You don't have to. I have to.
No. Go ahead. Whatever.
Chiefs could be 2-6, and Sam would still find a way to put them at number 1.
But they're not 2-6. They're literally 8-0,
Talk
dude.
to 'em.
Like, they don't go 2-6. They don't lose. They don't lose. And I'm not trying to glaze the Chiefs. It's just like that's a ridiculous comment because they don't go in 2-6. They never go 2-6. And I've never put a 2-6 team on my power rankings ever, Shad.
Talk to me, KG.
So shut your mouth.
No, we almost got on sandbag. Watch out.
Hey, I'm still changed. I am changed. Go ahead, KG.
You've been doing well with the change part. But Anakin
Yesterday was interesting.
Yeah, no, Anakin kind of stole my thunder, but what would the Lions have to do to be in the number 1 spot? Maybe as soon as next week?
I think it's keep winning, and the Chiefs have to lose a game or two. That's
So
all
you're
it is.
not necessarily demoting the Lions. You're more or less trying to honor the Chiefs for being undefeated and having won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So it's solely off the fact they're undefeated.
I mean, and
they have not looked great. Let's just be real about it.
But they've won.
Last game they looked better.
But they've won, and they beat the Ravens. They beat the 49ers. They beat the Chargers. I mean, people act like they're just this non-impressive team that's getting lucky every week. Even if that's the case, it's the freaking Chiefs. They just know how to win. They just know how to win.
That's what I was getting at with the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes thing. It was surgical.
Sam just a little bit as well, too. I mean, I'm not going to fault putting the Chiefs at number 1. Hell, even this overtime game that they had against the Bucs, Baker Mayfield even knew in overtime that it was over. Like, they won a coin toss? Fuck my life.
Pretty much.
You're right, man. Hey,
I'm not
listen.
mad at this list, though.
I'm not mad at it either.
I would move Pittsburgh and Minnesota. I would move Pittsburgh and Baltimore up and drop Minnesota to 8. But besides that,
that's fair.
I'm not mad at it.
I can't hate that.
Listen, I love the Washington Commanders. Y'all know from the beginning of the season, very high on the Commanders and on Jaden. I thought that he was going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and now this guy has his team looking like one of the best squads in all of the NFC. I thought he was going to do that in a year where they still were like under 500, but you could see the improvements. They made a lot of additions to their front office that made me. It was real Lions-esque. It looks a lot like what they were trying to do, and we covered that when the news broke about Ben Johnson. The news broke about where the Commanders were headed. They are building the right way. They're just building the right way, and to see this thing flourish on the field for them, I don't really want to see it flourish anymore.
That's the thing. They're building the right way, and they're getting unbelievable Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler Jr.
Yeah, but they can stop now, though, right?
Honestly, I thought that on paper, you don't think that's going to be enough to fix your pass rush and replace Montez Sweat and Chase Young, who you gave away last year at the trade deadline, but they have. The Commanders, they drafted well. They were great in free agency, and like I said, Jaden Daniels, when it's all said and done, might end up having the greatest rookie season by a quarterback of all time.
Yeah, and Chuck Brewer, if we were basing it only on this year, Detroit should be 1, KC 2, but it's not a vacuum so far. So for now, KC can keep the target.
Thank you, Chuck. Nothing against the Lions. It's just the Chiefs are a wagon.
Well, Brian Roof doesn't think that the KC will even win the AFC.
All right. But, they're going to get home field advantage. Because I know a lot of people are really high on the Ravens, but they already have 3 losses.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to go to Arrowhead.
And they lost the tiebreaker to the Chiefs.
They did. Yeah, they did.
And I think that the Chief conversation, the Eagles, when we're kind of center focusing this thing on the NFC, you got Washington Commanders who are upstarts, but I believe in Jared Goff being able to manipulate upstart Commanders defense even in the playoffs. I just do. I got a lot of faith in them. We see what he's doing to the defenses already. The Vikings, the Packers, the Cowboys. Bye-bye. Get him out of here, right?
You're right.
But when you talk about the Eagles, Saquon Barkley is a completely different monster.
Yeah.
And he's looking hot right now. Giants, what are you doing? What are you? Another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But Saquon Barkley and the Eagles, what should the concern level be with them in the NFC?
I mean, it's hard to say because you might not play them. That's the beautiful thing. You don't have to play the Eagles or the Commanders in the regular season. You don't know who you're going to have to play in the playoffs. If the Eagles come to Ford Field, which they most likely would if they face the Lions, I would be extremely confident that the Lions would win. But as I said before, the one thing that has held them back a little bit is A.J. Brown was dinged up a little bit at the beginning of the year, had to miss a couple of games, which the Eagles lost. This offense is still very, very formidable and very, very talented. If Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, that's still very, very formidable, and that defense is talented as well. But if it's at Ford Field, give me the Lions all day, every day, because they have a massive, and I cannot state this enough, a massive coaching advantage.
Hey,
what wins you in the playoffs?
I like that. Hey, from top to bottom, I like the Detroit Lions. And you know what? Because we only have a few more minutes left in the segment, my list didn't need as much time because, dog,
Lions 1 through 10.
Come on, baby.
Lions 1 through 10.
I don't care about nothing but the pride, man. That's all that it is. And I think I have the Chiefs also so appropriately ranked. Hey, JB Smooth, for the people, if you can put that up there.
I do it, bro. I didn't even have to look at it. I do the Lions.
Shout out to that dude, Justin. I love you, bro. All right, so let me break this thing down. Well, JB, you can put the poll up too, so they can grade Flannel's list. You don't have to put
I
up
wonder
the poll
who
for
will
mine.
win that poll. Gee, I wonder.
All right, here we go.
Let's see, so I can be shocked.
Number one. I'll start from number one. The Detroit Lions. Who disagrees with that? Anybody?
I mean, I do, unfortunately. But we already went over that. I love the Lions, people. Come on.
Number two, who cares? Number three, the rest of the league. And this is for our audience that's listening via podcast. Hey, listen, 4 cries over the Lions. I know who that is.
Right.
Number 5, the Wambulance. Number 6, anyone but the Packers. Number 7, anyone but the Vikings. Number 8, anyone but the Bears. Hey, just FT all of those teams. Definitely not the Cowboys. America's team, I'm sorry.
Cowboys.
You guys, they let the domain name expire and we took it.
But Kool-Aid, they got Jonathan Mingo now.
One reception for 1 yard.
Wow. That's what he usually does. Go ahead.
And number 10, fine, the Chiefs. The Chiefs. I'll give them some recognition. What do you think of my list, Flannel?
We better win the MF Super Bowl, man. Because if the Lions don't, you're gonna get clowned into oblivion.
Hey, you know what?
I'll try to defend you, but this list is like,
well, I mean,
it's all right. It's all right.
Stephen David, LFG Kool-Aid.
Of course.
Mid-May. That's a daggone fine list.
Kool-Aid
Now
won
that's
the
a
popular
list,
vote.
Ryan D. Terrell Lamar. Shout out Terrell Lamar. My fault. He was asking for the Pistons content. I got you, brother. Hey, A+. Hey, listen, it's, I mean, what's the problem, Flannel?
There are other teams in the NFL, and I get it. This is, if there's any year to disregard everybody, I'm not mad at you. I just
Anakin Skywalker. Oh my gosh, I like it. Jonathan Lord, A+, perfect list. Come on. And the Chiefs are represented too. We can represent them, and they don't have to be in a spot that they shouldn't belong in.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh man,
it's all right.
Hey, you know what? No, I saw somebody in the chat. They were like, Eric Allen, did he get a list? I was literally at LCA when we were preparing for this. Literally at LCA. It was, the list wasn't going to happen. When I saw that dude, Justin's, and we got an extra day, I was like, you know what? I could prepare one. You know what I mean? I have some ways that it would go. It's very similar to your list, but I do have the Lions at number 1. I have the Commanders at number 4. I'm very bullish on the Commanders. Got the Eagles very, very high.
Ooh.
So, yeah, definitely. And that's my at least the top 4 for me. Lions, Chiefs, Eagles, Commanders.
That's fair. And to answer Herb Nash, and when the Chiefs don't win, here's the difference. I was complimentary of 10 teams. Kool-Aid was complimentary of 1. There's a difference. There's a difference.
I'm supposed to compliment the Packers, the Vikings, and the Bears.
No, I don't ask you to compliment the Packers. They're not even on my list.
Hey.
I mean, the Vikings I did compliment, to be fair.
If and when the Chiefs lose, I expect to see a change in the rankings.
Of course.
And the
I
Pistons,
mean,
the
just
Pistons,
saying.
the Lions have to keep winning. Pistons keep winning, but the Lions got to keep winning too.
Of course.
I mean, just saying, you did put the rest of the NFL on the list. I mean, look, it's literally at number three. Right, the rest of the league.
The rest of the league cries over the Lions, the ambulance. It was okay. Shout out to that dude, Justin. I appreciate you. I appreciate the assistance, brother. But let's get into the next segment. It's everybody's favorite. We got to spark up word to dispo with JB Smooth.
Absolutely. But you know what? I'll tell you guys about Mark White, of course. Mark White is going to get you right. That is not the catchphrase, but Easy made it up, and it's very catchy. Dreaming of new home, but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, Soroki Signature Wings. They've got a great offer, and you should get on it today. And, of course, they got the best crispy chicken and pizza. They got biscuits. They got potato wedges. Pretty much everything you could possibly want pizza, and we are very satisfied every time we do a watch party. So get down to Soroki's. There's obviously going to be one close to you if you live in Metro Detroit because they are popping up everywhere. The most recent location was in Madison Heights. It's Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza, real fan favorites.
Hey. Oh, that's right. That one's on me. New Holland Brewing Company. Hey, they're bringing you guys the Woodward Sports Watch Party and the post-game show. We get things kicked off with the Lions game with the heavyweights and other Woodward Sports personalities live at Hayes Social every single Detroit Lions game. Hey, it's in Shelby Township. We want to see you guys. The atmosphere is great. If you saw our last reaction video, which went viral, flannel, it went viral, bro. It was us singing a fight song after the Detroit Lions trashed the Green Bay Packers in their own house. How disrespectful. But we want you guys to be a part of it, whether you could show up in person or whether you're tapped in via Woodward Sports. It's a perfect companion to the game, and it's a perfect atmosphere and environment as well. Come eat, come drink, and be social with us at Hayes Social. And then right after the game, instant analysis with Stick and Anson via the post-game show. And it was really cool. We get you guys involved. Whether you want to call in or if you're there, we give you the mic, we put you on camera, and you get to talk about these Detroit Lions. And they give us a lot to talk about. All this is brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, 1800 Tequila, Sabbath Coffee, and the Soroki's. And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the WUW Crew. Let's run up them likes, man. We appreciate everything that you guys do to support us, to give us your time, to stay tapped in with the rest of the shows as well. Big D Energy right after us with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty. You got Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and then in the day with the heavyweights and the Detroit Pistons dub. But right now we got a spark up word to Dispo. Let's rock, Mr. JB Smooth.
Let's do it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Bizza.
Let's rock.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What up, though, Stick?
Shout out to Stick. He was just walking in the studio once again. But fellas, what's going on? I got some videos for you today. I don't know if this is the best prank or the worst prank I've seen. All I know is I don't want to wake up the next morning and see this outside of my house.
Uh-oh, what are we about to see?
Wait,
what? Who did this?
It's
This
like
is
that.
insane.
It's like that episode of South Park. Where
This
Mr.
feels like, I can't believe I forget the name of the street with the artist who got all of that stuff. You drive down the road and he got like all of the houses with just trash, but he's turned it into art. That's what this looks like
That's
to me,
crazy.
man.
This don't look like a prank. This look like you got beef with somebody. That's a lot of that's
Somebody
a lot of
in the
time
city
and
does not like
dedication
you.
to be doing that, man. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't see my man go get literally 50 scooters and put them on your lawn? Like, what is going on?
I just don't know how you got the scooters over here all at once. Like,
that's crazy.
Do you think they rode them over? Like they paid to ride them over?
How else they get them over there?
You throw them in the truck.
I guess.
I mean, I guess. But I
Yo,
don't
you got to
know.
go Grinch style. Just throw them all in the back of a pickup and then just dump them all in one spot.
This is crazy.
That's crazy.
There's got to be beef. If you take the time to do this, you hate that person.
Yes.
This is
No,
that
exactly.
grade A Chappelle show, haters ball, hate. Shout out Ice-T.
Shut up.
Goodness gracious.
Man, somebody gonna have to put all these scooters back. I'm just saying, that's just terrible.
Shout out
But
KG.
Given it as someone who has worked at a Walmart before,
Eric Allen, he
God
said the
bless your heart.
Heidelberg Project. The Heidelberg Project
Project,
in
yes.
Detroit. That's what that reminds me of, man.
Yes.
Thank you, Eric Allen.
Shout out to Eric Allen.
Chuck with
Once
cheese,
again,
too.
Given as a person who's worked at Walmart, this is just a typical Tuesday.
What? What?
Get high on
It's on
fire.
fire.
And people still just shopping though.
Look at that's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
They're like just shopping like Walmart's a disaster.
What is this world coming to, bro? They still just shopping like casually.
I mean, I gotta pick up some deodorant and some laundry soap. Like,
Do y'all
come
think
on, man.
anybody made it as s'more?
Yeah,
They're just so casual. I'm like, goodness
that's
gracious.
amazing. It's just on fire.
Run. Wait, is that toilet paper?
Yep, that's the toilet paper.
Oh, not the paper
Oh
section.
my God.
Come on, man.
Well, I mean, honestly, they were smart not to panic because causing a panic it increases the injury risk in a situation
That's
like
fair.
that.
Yeah, they're not
Yes, but it's a
panicking. They're
fire
certainly not
at the
panicking.
store, like-
But everybody is just sitting there recording it now.
The bad part is they just gonna mark that tissue down a couple of dollars.
It's gonna have plastic charred into it.
Right.
JB,
KG, you're right.
Just
I-
don't discount that shit, real
I know
quick.
we've talked about it, but we can
The
shake
rollback.
hands. Former
Right.
Walmart employees.
There we go.
God
See?
bless your heart.
Oh, for real? I was with
yeah.
I was with the Dot, man, Target.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Double shifts overnight, man.
No.
Damn.
10 years.
Target.
I wanted to be a music guy fresh out of college. I had to find some way to
Oh
support
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
That's rough, man.
I wound up here though.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It worked
We
out.
made it.
Let's
See,
rock.
everything works out for a reason there. It's perfect. And you know what? Finally, I will end what's trending with this. I don't know about you guys, but yesterday was my last day at the gym. Just not happening for me.
Gave up.
What?
Wait.
Oh, so the bar's not racked evenly,
Yeah, who?
Oh.
and it just
Whoa.
So
Great.
who put the
Yeah.
bar on
I
the-
hope you're okay.
Oh my God.
This is just a basic history, like lesson in physics right here.
Oh.
And concussion.
Whoever put that bar up there need their ass.
Well, you can
whipped.
see his
I ain't
friend
gonna
take like unracking the weights on the one side, but he's just staring in the
That's
mirror.
Bro, thank you for looking. I always look at the people around these situations.
Yeah.
I was looking like, what kind of friend, bro?
Well, no, he's doing the right thing. Just they're unracking the weights, supposed to put him back. Don't be an animal at the gym. But then, like at the same time, when he takes off all the weight on the other side, he creates this teeter totter. You know, and it just knocks his friend.
Maybe he
out.
was in shock or something because I'm just like, go and do something, help your friend. I see him
that's
moving to
tough.
probably put it down the weights, but my word, that's tough.
Last day at the gym. But that's what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
Let's get into the mailbag straight up. I gotta tell the people about one Mr. Dr. Pierce, huh?
Yes, you
So
do.
attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy, that 4-time Stanley Cup champion winner, one of Flannel's favorite players that he thinks should be in the Hall of Fame. Trust Dr. Jeff Pierce. He's here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
And you can't forget about Salvation Army.
I might have misappropriated you. Shout out D-Mac.
D-Mac doesn't even think he's a Hall of Famer. But if you ever thought about volunteering but don't know where to start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You can hear Chase. I think he's practicing for his shift. You'll have an option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. Virtual bell ringers can sign up and begin raising funds at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins on Friday, November 7th and runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations of a Feldman dealership in your backyard, visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, and what up, though, people? We are back at his Wake Up Woodward, and it is time for the Wake Up Woodward Mailbag segment presented by the Feldman Automotive Group. And so I need you all to get your questions into the chat. We're going to definitely get to as many of them as we can. We do have a special guest in today, Summer Weathers, with us. Hey, tell the people, Summer, because I know you have a question. Tell the people, though, a little bit about yourself. I know that you are a student at Oakland. You are in media. You have interviewed everybody in Detroit sports, from Clarissa Shields to Cade Cunningham to David Montgomery. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Kool-Aid. Glad to be here and with everyone else that is here as well. And yes, that's exactly right, Kool-Aid. Thanks so much for that intro. And yes, I am a senior at Oakland University, majoring in journalism, and my graduation month is in April, so super excited for that.
Congrats.
And yeah.
Hey. Congrats. And I know that you know some of our cohorts here. You know Mr. Neil Rule.
Yes, I do.
He calls the games for the Golden Grizzlies.
Yes.
I know that you also cover the sports there as well.
Yes, at the Oakland Post. But yes, Neil Rule, the voice of the Golden Grizzlies.
Let's go. I see you in the chat, brother. He said Summer.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah, we got some Summer fans in the chat. What is your mailbag question as the chat family gets theirs into the chat right now?
Well, let's definitely talk about those Detroit Pistons.
Damn right.
What's the most promising sign that you've seen so far that indicates that the team is ahead of schedule in their rebuild?
I think that they are receptive to what J.B. Bickerstaff has brought. It seems like things are more concise. It feels like a basketball program when I'm around them at practice and such. And just seeing them corrected on mistakes already. We saw at the end of games were issues, and so if that's a problem, just go out there and beat them by double figures, huh?
Absolutely. I was going to say Cade and Ivy closing out the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Playing together beautifully.
Yeah,
Love it.
I would say the defense and Jaden Ivey in particular, man, like career 41% from the field. This year he's at 46. He's almost at 50% shooting the three ball. Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, the growth we've seen from Jaden Ivey so far, you can tell that he was stunted last year with Monty at the helm. this year he's getting the full reign, and he's showing the results of that.
For me, it's JB Bickerstaff now just actually us having a dominant coach that is willing to get up off the bench, talk to his players. You're not seeing him just sit there and to just watch the game, not give any advice at all. And also, you got to give a shout out to Cade as well, too. He has kind of made it this year to just be dominant in the fourth quarter. So I got to give respect to him.
Hey, shout out. And what about you? What has been your biggest takeaway so far from the Detroit Pistons?
I love the way that they are coming together. They're a young core, but they can get the job done. And we've seen that game after game so far. And that Lakers win, how about that?
It was hype.
How about that?
It was hype. The arena was hype. The people, you could tell, there were some Laker fans in the building. I was wondering how the reception was going to be as the Detroit Pistons continued in that game. And the Detroit fans definitely showed up, man.
Absolutely.
It was hype. Let's get into the chat as well. Thank you, Summer. And, hey, feel free to share any comments as we answer some of these questions. But Ed O'Neill, shout out to Ed O'Neill. Word to Ed O'Neill, one of the regulars, one of the long times. Feldman Mailbag, Lions Commanders, NFC Championship. How would you feel? Does it matter where we play?
Yeah. I think at Ford Field it's an auto dub, and at Washington in January be a little tough, but I think it will be at Ford Field if that happens to play out that way and that the Lions would win.
Hey, let's keep it moving. And anybody else on that? Commanders, Lions, what you think?
Worried. I don't give a. It's a rookie quarterback. Although he's having a great year,
about it.
It's a rookie quarterback. Their defense is okay, but Jared Goff should fare well against Washington defense. I feel like so.
Hey,
I'm not worried.
Lions fear no one.
Fear no one. What about you, Summer? Lions, Commanders, any fear there? No,
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not.
I like it. Hey, I see you, nobody. Kool-Aid, are you going to the game on Tuesday? Might sing through. My sister's coming into town, though, and I'm a huge Miami Heat fan, but listening to you makes me love the Pistons. You know what, Detroit sports fans, all of us in here love the Pistons. That's what I love so much about how the Woodward Pistons podcast has gone. It's been with a bunch of people who have loved the Pistons, and I love this iteration of it right now, too, with my guys up here in the WUW Crew. So I definitely will be there. I'm sure you might be there, too.
You know it.
Yep. Media Crew's Media Day is the 7th. We're going to have boots on the ground. I know you're going to be there, too.
Tomorrow.
Yep. So, all right. Hey, let me see here. I gave Shad some attention today. Steve DeYoung, Feldman Mailbag. How many sacks does Za'Darius Smith finish the season with now that he's on the roster?
I say 10 even.
Yep.
10 even?
10.
I was thinking 11. I was like, you know what? Let's get him one more with the Lions than he had with the Browns, just so he can understand and people can know just how much better Detroit is than Cleveland. Yeah. Can that be?
Well, they're already going to know. They're already going to know.
Hey, let's rock. Hey, let me see here. Broder, Feldman Mailbag for Sam.
Out.
I'm going to my first Ohio game this weekend. I won't wear their gear ever, but is it blasphemous for a Michigan fan to wear a Red Wings hat, red obviously, to the game?
No, it's not blasphemous. It's I don't want to say it's a nice way of kind of pulling the old switcheroo on Ohio State fans, if that makes sense.
Hey, let's rock. Jordan from MI. Feldman Mailbag, how do you guys think Ron Holland has been this season, and who do you think has been the most impressive rookie in the league this year?
I would say Ron Holland has showed a lot of – he's been on brand both positively and negatively. Obviously, his defense has been good. He can score, he can get to the rim, but he can't shoot the three worth a damn, which we all – I feared, or at least not yet. I will say not yet. And as far as the most impressive rookie –
it's not a lot.
I am gonna get murdered for what I'm about to say. Zach Edey.
Listen. Zach Edey and Dalton Connect were two guys. I was like, man. And then I got a little discouraged with Zach Edey because everybody was like, nah, he's not it. And I'm like, man, is there something we just getting wrong? But it's like the size translates, man. It just does.
I will say this, and I'm not trying to be all Matthew Kruger or anything, but I thought the slander that went Zach Edey's way was way out of line, especially after he led Purdue to the championship game. After they went 1-0 the previous year, you can pile on him as much as you want, but he showed me something in that tournament, and he's having there's not a lot of great rookies, but he's probably shined above them all.
All right.
Unless I'm forgetting someone obvious.
Hey, this 411 Summer, mid-May, Summer Weathers. I like the name. Are you getting the love in the chat? Summer.
Appreciate that.
Mid-May. Oh, my gosh. Okay, let's keep it moving. Any more mailbag questions? Feldman Mailbag.
Man.
Who is baby girl on the show?
Come on.
Come on, man. I'm looking for Lions questions, Pistons
Y'all
questions,
boys
man.
relax in the chat, man.
You know what? We just gonna shut it down. Wake up Woodward today. Is that a show, fellas?
That's a show.
Oh yeah.
Let's get up out of here,
Any
man.
last words from anybody? Any last words?
Appreciate all of this. You guys are great. I love this show.
hey, glad to have you part of the WUW Crew today. Shout out to that dude Justin, our brother Matthew Broder as well. Thank you for being in the chats, Matt. We see you, bro, and always praying for you, always wishing you well, and glad to see you thriving as well, man.
Yes.
Matthew Broder. Hey,
absolutely.
Let's break this thing down. Great to have Summer, the amazing, in the building. Hey, Chase, the great. You want to say something to the people?
Yeah, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hey, what up, though? I just want to say shout out to Jim Holly. Hope you have a great birthday, man. And then also to respond to Broder's mailbag really quick. It's totally okay to wear your Red Wings hat in the horseshoe. March 1st, 2025, the Red Wings are taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets in the horseshoe.
Ooh. That's right.
In the Stadium Series next year, technically, but this season. So totally okay to wear your Red Wings hat. You're getting in there early, showing them that the Red Wings are going to take over the horseshoe come March 1st, 2025.
It's the real red anyway. We don't know what Ohio is doing anyway. So, hey, shout out to Chase the Great. You guys just continue to make sure that we find that right nickname for him. It's been elevated from intern to regular now. You know what? The elite, the wonderful, the stupendous, the great, the miraculous, man. Hey,
Keep
I'm
going.
talking about better than the rest. If
Keep
you
going. I was gone
X-ray
for
my
2 days.
guy's
What's up with
chest,
it?
you talk about some dogs. When they talk out here, woo, 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 woo. We got the MVPs. We got you. Take all the lists and throw them out. Why? Because this booth is it better than everybody else. There's nobody, Flannel, there's nobody else in this space who can do what these guys can do. I'm talking about even if you got beef and you approaching them, all you're gonna do is be like, you smell nice today, brother. Hey, in the sound booth, we got Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, AKA Black Hollywood.
That'll do, Kool-Aid.
That'll do it today.
That'll
Hey,
do.
let's
Thank
rock.
you.
I hope people remember that reference, that clip from the movie.
Oh, yeah. Shrek did. Hey, but shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate all the well wishes while I was gone. People like Terrell Lamar, A-Diz, Just a Fan I saw today, JZJ, I believe, and everybody else that left well wishes, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to my team, man. Glad to be back. We gonna kill this shit the rest of the week. And let's keep this shit rolling, man. Let's do it.
Hey, let's rock. Hey, what? I see y'all in the chat. Y'all
going crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, right
this
now.
is MVP in the TD booth. It is JB Smooth.
Hey, let's keep the rest of this week rolling. Shout out to my tag team brother. I got him back now in the sound booth over there. Miss you,
Damn
bro.
right. Damn
Man,
right.
Keep the rest of the day moving. And you know what? Smash that Pistons money line for the night. That's killing the Hornets.
Hey, crush the Hornets, man. The 2-5 Hornets. Get it. Goodness. The Pistons, man, these are a couple winnable games for them.
Oh, yeah.
And they can prove a lot to themselves. We thought that first 10 games was going to be a gauntlet, and now they have an opportunity
500
to be
Pistons, baby.
500, man.
I'm just saying, KG.
Real quick, man. I think we found Chase's nickname.
Talk to me.
Chase GPT. I like it.
That I actually like
That
Yeah, let's
That's
do it.
hard.
Chase GPT.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you should call me that the other day.
I think that one's it, man. Shout out to Stick, too, before we get out of here. What up, though, Stick?
How's it going, gentlemen?
What up, though, brother? Hey,
No one
filling
said
in for
Jared
Neil-
Goff.
Filling in for Neil Rule today. What?
I said no one said Jared Goff.
Yeah, that's why I didn't come on the show today.
hey, let's get that chest pass going. Hey, that's it. Man, we got to go hoop, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, the vet of the squad, the vet of the network, that's Flannel Sam. The more things change, the more Flannel stays the same.
Well, if we...
But hold on,
Nova.
Flannel. I did hear you talk about me when you were talking about the Vikings.
I'm just saying,
Stick
Stick.
hears it all.
Stick. All I'm saying
Stick
is
top
that
10.
if you mention the word Vikings and anything other than gutter trash, you appear as well. They're a good team that the Lions went on the road and beat. That's an That's all I said. That's all I said.
Look at his face.
That's all I said. And you weren't the only one. You weren't the only one, Stick.
Look at JB too. I love this stuff.
How's it working out for those Vikings?
They're 6-2. They're fine according to their expectations. They're fine.
So that's the post now. Their expectations.
I'm not
I
a
thought
Viking.
Their expectations were super. I was told when they were 5-0 that was the team to beat. That Sam Darnold was an MVP candidate. That he's going to be like the best quarterback since Sam Darnold.
I mean,
nobody else wanted him. 4 teams thought he was trash, and all of a sudden he was good. Sam.
He's had a good year. He's had a good year.
For Sam Darnold.
Fine. Fair enough.
Hey, look, it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter writer for the network. It's been a show, and that's because you guys have made it one.
Oh, yeah, and I got to ask one question. If you can get the answer and real quick, do it. Broder, why the F are you going to an Ohio State-Purdue game? It's going to be 96-4. I don't know how the Purdue is going to get 4. 96-0.
I'm wondering.
I was like, damn it.
Right. Now I really do want to know the answer, man.
Why are you going to an Ohio State-Purdue game?
I'm wondering if this has anything to do with Broder's harem. We shall see. We're going to definitely break that down in one of the segments on tomorrow's show. Tap in with Wake Up Woodward, 8 to 10. No, thank you guys, Chat Family. As always, you guys are the best part of this thing. Hit that like button, run it up, and not just for us, but all the other shows on the network. Tap in with Big The Energy right after us. And have a good one. What's up?
Good answer, Broder. Good answer.
What did he say? So it was right. It was of the harem.
Good answer.
Broder.
Good answer.
Well, they had Broder.
Is it Lily from Canton?
Hey, shout out to you, man. Happy, but I can't stop smiling.
And speaking of college football, upset pick of the week, Michigan. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What? Psych.
Kidding.
Big psych.
Have a day,
Speaking
y'all.
of 96-4.
The Crickets. Have a day, y'all.